Your life partner, for lack of better terms, Susan. I always thought I was not invited to your wedding or something, but it hasn't happened yet. Susan worked in large agencies and now has her own marketing research firm, as you mentioned. Do you ever collaborate, and has she had an effect on your work and the studio?
Yeah, I mean, just to give you a little background, this is Susan's website, and we can kind of click through it as we're talking. It's insane. It's a really good client, but they don't pay much. Anyway, so Topic 101 is Susan's company, and so Susan worked at ad agencies like Bronner and Digitas, and now the website doesn't work.
Yeah, we must not have a signal.
Okay. Well, it's a really beautiful
Here
website.
it comes.
Okay, these things come up. It'll crash most old computers. So we're very proud of that. But anyway, so she worked at ad agencies like Bronner, Digitas, Ingalls Quinn Johnson, things like that. And then she worked in-house at, no one's even listening to me, are they? At places like Fidelity and Fleet, where she was senior vice president. But she found that the research stuff that they did never kind of made its way to the creative side. And but the research is really understanding the audience before you do anything, and it's not doing focus groups at the end and saying, do you like this or this? It's kind of understanding the audience from the beginning. And so these are some examples of projects she's done where she interviewed the audience either by online surveys or getting them in a room together or phone interviews or whatever, and then how it led to the creative. And I think really understanding your audience before you start the creative is an amazing tool. So whenever we can, we try to hire Susan. She's very expensive, so we can't always hire her. But these videos here are just to kind of represent different kind of concepts, and they're kind of randomly related to what she's talking about. You can spend hours on this thing, believe me. These are randomly generated, randomly pulled videos. But then, I'll just take it. So then a really good example of how we work together is actually the work we did for the Art Institute of Boston here. So I hope I'm not talking out of school here, but what happened when we first started with AIB is there was kind of a conflict between the Leslie marketing team, who was taking over the kind of design of the admissions piece for the first time, and the internal people at AIB. And there's a little battle when kind of Leslie and AIB merged, and a little different kind of attitude, different cultures, things like that. And so what we did is we came in, we said, it's not really about you guys at Leslie and you over here at AIB, it's about your audience, in this case, prospective art school students. And so we started the whole thing by having Susan do an online survey of high school juniors who had expressed an interest in going to art school, and we asked them all the questions we wanted to know. And we published their answers to why AIB right on the cover of the book. So some of them said good things. They loved Boston, great school. Some people said, it's okay. Some people said small, which is true. For some people, small is a good thing. Some people, it's a bad thing. But whatever they said, we put right here. And this really led to the research that Susan did, really led to our creative solutions. So we started the book with these blank pages. Think about your passion, your medium, your vision, your drive, your choices. It went on like that with blank pages for several spreads. But we found that one of the things that students really expressed was they were interested in kind of a real sense of what the school's like. If they had a friend going here, it would kind of give them a tour, and not this like happy, smiling vision of what the school's like. The school isn't like that. it's kind of rough, and it's kind of, it's, rough around the edges, and there's cracks in the ceiling. But it's like, it's real, and it is small, and that's a good thing for some people. It's not a good thing for other people. But we want to express that through the photography. So instead of hiring an outside photographer, a professional photographer, some old guy like me coming in and say, okay, I'm going to take your picture now, and everyone freezes up. We hired 4 photo students, and they shot everything in this book. And it gave it a real kind of like over-the-shoulder kind of view, and the students were used to having their friends take pictures, so they didn't really clam up or smile or things. And you got these kind of interesting views. This is this room, so I put in. These kind of interesting perspectives on the school that were really kind of told the story. And then there's, of course, student work section. We did bios. This is actually an old intern of mine, Jason Otero, actually worked AIGA Denver conference logo, and he's in Denver. So we got, the student photographer, like, okay, this guy's in Denver, give me a ticket, go out and shoot him, bring me the photos back, and you're done. Like, literally, that was it, and so it was a real learning experience, for the students, but they came through. So this year, what we did, So this year what we did, and you can pick up a copy, I think, here, is we actually worked with Rick Rollins' class, and Andrew, behind the camera here, was one of the students in the class. And so we had the design students be kind of like, almost like they're the audience and the designers. And the students in the class worked on the actual book. And so, it was a great process, but it all kind of started with 5 years ago with Susan's research, kind of understanding who we're talking to, and that kind of led to doing creative solutions that I guess could go through, because it's it's one thing to do something creative, but I think I also have this belief that most people don't get design. Very few people understand good design from bad design, but people get research. If you tell them, 63% of people said this, okay, I understand that. And we try to use that to do design that's creative and effective. So it's a great combo when we can team up, or when I can porter.